Chicago's O Block is notorious for its high crime rates and low quality of life. And curiously, the block has acquired something of a media hype in pop culture. On one hand, it's derided for its murders and gun crime, but on the other, it's cultivated famous rap artists like Chief Keef and King Von. Some people claim that these rappers exaggerate certain aspects of the neighborhood for their music, insisting that there are worse neighborhoods than O Block on Chicago's south side. This opinion, however, should be taken with a grain of salt. Well, some neighborhoods might be worse than those in Parkway Garden Homes. It does not excuse the situation there. Roaches and rodents roam the hallways of the buildings. Trash sits in a heap around the corner, and on top of it all, occasionally, the streets ring with the sounds of bullets. So, what is the mystery behind this unique neighborhood's reputation? Join me to find out as today we discover the history of Chicago's O Block. I'm your host, Ryan Sokash, and you're watching It's History. Our story begins with the segregated White City on Chicago's 63rd Street and South Parkway, now known as Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Constructed in 1905, sometimes listed as the White City Amusement Park in print media, it should not be confused with another amusement park that was responsible for the World's Columbian Exposition in 1893. Built on 14 acres of land, it was one of the biggest amusement parks in the U.S. at the time of its opening. The ballroom in one of the buildings could fit 1,000 dancers, and a restaurant, the College Inn, could seat 2,500 diners. The park's signature White Tower could be seen from 15 miles away, earning White City the title, the City of a Million Electric Lights. There was no general admission ticket, but African Americans were, let's say, discouraged from attending. Names like the White Tower and White City carried a great significance for people who were not allowed inside. One of the park's games was called African Dip and involved white patrons hurling projectiles at a black person, an activity that sounds disgraceful at the least. However, segregation eased up once more black people moved to the area for lesser jobs like this one. The Great Depression took a toll on the project, and by 1933, the company that owned it could not pay taxes. In 1946, White City's facilities were auctioned off. The land was designated for large-scale, multi-family residential developments for African Americans, an ironic gesture, one has to say. And so it was. America's first cooperatively owned African American housing development opened in 1955. The low-income apartment complex would go on to house 20,000 residents. This place, known as the Parkway Garden Apartment Homes, nestled between Woodlawn and Washington Park, would ultimately become known as the O Block. Henry K. Holzman was the architect chosen to design the apartment complex. He had worked as a contractor in Chicago from 1891 to 1893, before becoming a partner in the firm Brainerd Holzman Architects from 1893 to 1897. After the markets crashed in 1929, his firm started designing affordable residential housing projects in Illinois. This opinion, however, should be taken with a grain of salt. He was involved in major housing projects over the next few years, and by the latter 30s was receiving funding from the Federal Housing Authority for designing his own projects. In 1932, he wrote a book, Rehabilitating Blighted Areas, Studies of Blighted Areas, How They Evolve, and Their Effect on Society, which was published by the Architects Club of Chicago. In 1945, he published 2 more works regarding urban homes and the idea of mutual ownership. In 1937, Moholy Nagy, the influential Hungarian artist, opened the new Bauhaus, American School of Design, in Marshall Field's unused South Prairie Avenue mansion, also known as Fields Victorian. Holzman was the director of the Association of Arts and Industry and was heavily involved in bringing the Bauhaus sensibilities to Chicago. He worked on apartment complexes in the city's north, including the Winchester Hood and the Lunt Lake apartments, before moving to the Parkway Garden Apartment Homes, originally known as O'Donnell Homes. Holzman's firm went bankrupt from the project, and he was convicted for mail fraud. The O'Donnell Homes was among his final projects. Today, the Parkway Homes District, located in the grander Grand Crossing community, consists of 35 buildings, 11 of which have elevators. The Bauhaus approach is evident here as Holzman focused on functionality, efficiency, and addressing the social needs of the residents. But let's refer to a moment to the landmark nomination for the apartment homes, which reads, quote, "The buildings are minimally decorated with early modernist features, including offset canted window bays, projecting cantilever."
This LG, you see? Did you see the way that the project looks in Chicago, in the most dangerous neighborhood? Tell me, what do those projects look like? If you looked around today, what would you say that those apartment complexes look? Next to a rail yard, so the people are gonna be hearing all that noise from the rail. What it look like? It looked just like a prison. Because that's exactly what they did. They made these projects for them black animals so they can go to work and cut their grass and dig their ditches and all that stuff, and then just go back to their project while the prejudiced white man live over there in this segregated community, living like kings and queens. So what is it that these people can do in their project where they were supposed to stay? Ain't no industrial there. They build all these apartment complexes so you can't own houses and stuff because ain't nothing there but the project that the prejudiced white man owned. This is what they did to the black people back in the day. This is how they treated the black people back in the day. So if a black person want to come up, the only victims that's there is black people. The black people that were doing pretty good was getting robbed by the real poor blacks. And then the drug dealers, they riding around in fancy cars, wearing fancy clothes, moved to a fancy house. But the poor black was stuck right there in the ghetto, and the drug dealer was selling them all the drugs. But the drug dealer that was in the community, he wasn't the one that was selling the big drugs. It was the prejudiced white man that was bringing the drug to the black neighborhood. And then they had what they call a kingpin that the white man deal with. The white man just dealt with one man. Just in case something went wrong, he could just eliminate one man and he'll be in the clear. But he supplied all them drugs to the project knowing that these people is depressed. They don't have jobs. Some of them don't have food. Some of them don't even have decent clothes to wear. What do you think those people gonna do? If you got a dog out in your yard tied up, and that dog is depending on you to feed it, and then you stop feeding it, and you stop taking care of it, eventually that dog gonna starve to death, or that dog gonna turn on you. That's what they did. That's the way they treated black people, like animals. And they was over there, and they working these black people to the bone. That's why they was dying at 50, at 49, 45, because the white man worked them to death. And they could hardly make it. The white man is the one that made the project. The white man is the one that made the project like a prison. The white man is the one that took away the black man and the black woman's self-esteem. The children went hungry without decent clothes while the white man's over there living it up right across the street. What did you expect for the black people to do? And then when the police come, instead of the police helping them, the police is abusing them. And the police is killing them. You let Donald Trump take the National Guard up in that project. and see how many natural guardians are dead. It's not going to happen. The cops don't even go up in there and mess with those people because those people it's got a city like on their own. Donald Trump is running around here playing games with people like Cash Patel and Christian Nome. All these people running around here like this stuff is a game. When these people that live in these areas are suffering, their kids are suffering, they're going hungry. You run up in there. I bet you it won't be no TV show then. Yeah, maybe World War III. But you go up in there, you're going to get lit up. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just telling you the facts. These people are struggling. These people are hardcore. These people are barely living. They're barely making. And they're looking at the white man across the street living like kings and queens. That ain't godly. And that ain't even right. This stuff should have been taken care of. Those projects and everything should have been torn down. And decent houses built for black and brown people. And then the president white people gonna run around like they love God. Like they care so much about God and got these people locked up in like prisons. How they gonna make it? They ain't got no land to grow nothing. They ain't got nothing but a project. And then you're going to go up in there and try to run them out of that. Because you want the land now. Because the president white people already used up our land. Now they want to go in and turn on the project and be a high rise and everything for the rich people. When you already took the dignity away from black and brown people. America, if you keep on going on the path that you're going, and the poor and the downtrodden, the black and the brown people is already fed up. These people are not the kind of people that kill themselves. These are the kind of people that got pride. Even though they don't got nothing. They got pride. They not gonna tuck their tail and run. They're not gonna sit there and let you run all over with them. I used to live in the ghetto. I agree with them 100%. I know how that tears down black and brown people self-esteem. And then the white folks over there eating filet mignon and New York strip and T-bone steak and porterhouses. And you over there eating chips and drinks and candy just to try to stop your belly from growling. And then the white man with your tax dollars, the little tax dollars that you paying, gonna send the National Guard in there on you. That's disrespect. America, are you ever going to live up to the Constitution that you wrote, that you only wrote for whites? You didn't write for black and brown people? Are you going to ever live up with those words that you have on the back of your money, "In God we trust"? Are you going to ever live up to that so all the crime could stop? So like it says in the Bible, so you can beat your sword into plowshares? Are you ever going to live up to the promise that you made in public so you can look good, but inside you really ravenous wolves? Are you ever going to take off the sheep clothing and become a sheep? Are you ever just going to accept Jesus Christ as your own personal Savior and let Jesus lead and guide you in the way that you should go? You think that you're going to live forever? You think that you're going to be on the top forever? The Bible tells you that whatsoever measure that you meet, it should be measured back to you again. While you got your feet around somebody else's neck, somebody is going to come along behind you and put their foot around your neck. But you got a chance today. You got a chance to change your ways today. You got a chance to get down on your knees and pray to God today. You was on your way to hell. But God saved you today so you can have an opportunity to get down on your knees and come to Jesus. Just like you are. And tell Jesus that you're sorry. And tell that black and brown people that you're sorry for the atrocity that you brought up on them. You're sorry for your ancestor treating the black and brown people like animals. And you ask Jesus to forgive you for all your sins. The sin that you know about and the sin that you don't know about. And tear down all these projects. The government has got millions and millions of acres of land that's doing nothing. Give these people a chance to build their own community. Give these people a chance to get out of these prison projects and live the American dream, the same dream that you've been living for over 400 years. Give the black and brown people back their dignity. They deserve it. They have earned it. Give them back their dignity now.